Time is produced by John DeSanto. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSanto.
And I'm Courtney DeSanto.
And this is It's Movie Time.
Yes, it is.
And I think it's time for a new star.
A new star, but an old star in a way. An old soul in an older body.
What's older?
Well, seeing that I'm much older than she is, she seems like a young sprite to me. I'm thinking, why are you complaining about 40? 40's nothing.
You know, so it's called the 40-year-old version.
Right, with a star in the role of Rada Blank.
Rada Blank.
I've never heard of her before, I have to say.
Oh yes, she's done some serious writing.
Playwright, she's a playwright.
Yeah, yes, and she's done serious writing for like Netflix series and so on. So she's done series writing.
And this is her first show or movie for herself.
Her first feature film, starring herself,
Yes.
Rada Blank, and directing and writing.
It was such a wonderful piece. You
Yes.
know, I thought it was just insightful and deep and bright, and it just felt good all over, even though, you know, not everything was rosy, and you know, she came to a lot of conclusions about herself that weren't always pretty.
Yes, she, Rada is, really it's based upon her life, but it's kind of a low-key take. It's
Very
not as
low-key.
successful as she is.
Right. She's a little bit struggling in, you know, turning 40 and not having a hit in a while. Had been the 30 under 30, top 30 under 30 in New York City.
Yes, right.
With a lot of Caucasian white patrons.
Yes.
Right.
There are 2 or 3 levels here.
Yeah, maybe more than that, really.
Yeah, and one of them, of course, is that she's trying to come to terms with turning 40.
Right.
The second one is dealing with getting her play.
Whether to sell out, to remain true
Oh.
to her soul, but also knowing that, you know, she's got to pay the bills and she's got to kind of bite the bullet and take what she can get when she can get it.
I think this is the most trenchant part of the film, which is when you get Josh Whitman is the producer,
He's
played
such a caricature.
smarmy by Reed
Smarmy,
Birney.
creepy
Whoa,
guy.
whoa, a white guy with round glasses,
Yeah.
and he's producing, and he is the problem for a creative new voice,
Right.
because while he's willing to produce her play called Harlem Ave.
Don't call it Harlem Avenue, people. It's Harlem Ave,
Right.
specifically.
And what does he want?
He wants her to put more white in it, don't you think?
Oh,
It's about gentrification, and he feels like the couple that are at the center of it shouldn't be the main focus. We've got to bring in basically a Karen who's going to live next door to the grocery store that they own.
Yes, right.
In Harlem.
And I love it because Rada's fighting all the way for her own voice, and she's trying to find her voice. So if this doesn't work, she's going to do hip hop.
Rap, right. She fell into kind of a moment where she thought, hey, the answer is I'm going to rhyme. I'm going to make some rhymes.
It's a great scene when she does her first stand-up.
Oh my goodness, yes. Completely prepared, thought she was going to do well, got a little high backstage, and then completely blanked on the stage.
He kept rhyming yo,
Oh, yo. And the kids that her students, another part of this movie, another level of it is her being a teacher while she's trying to get her career back on, and the wonderful students that she had in her class.
Isn't that a great class?
Loved the class,
Yeah.
all of the different personalities in there and how they worked together, and how supportive and how much they loved her really was, I thought, a great part of it.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the tension comes from that. I think you're right. I think that maybe even better than her turning 40, or maybe even a better segment than the play is just with those kids. And that's
Yes.
what I think she eventually will discover, is that she was really gifted with those kids. She doesn't know that.
Right. It's almost an aside, I've got to do this while I'm doing my other, which, as we all know, life happens to you while you're waiting for life happens to you.
And
So that, I thought, was a pure part of her life.
I thought it was just excellent, and it shows what she really is. And Rada's such an interesting character.
She is, yes.
Very
Very complex, not
Yeah.
very different levels of it. You know, she owns her appearance in a way that I find very interesting and bright. But I also felt like, you know, people treated her in a way that wasn't quite fair, and I can see how that, you know, feels. But I also feel like, hey, lady, come on, you've got a talent, let's get going. You know, let's stop feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, and I think her consciousness about being black, while it makes an important hook for what they're doing, sometimes it just takes over.
I agree.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary. We all get what's happening. We know what's happening socially, racially, and I felt like that was a little heavy-handed. But at the same time, what I really did like was the rom-com with Dee, the hip-hop
Wasn't
DJ.
that sweet?
Loved that.
Yeah.
He was much more attractive than she was, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
But it laid back, kind of let her come to him, you know.
Yes.
And then he ended up chasing her, and then she ends up coming back to him.
And that's Oswin Benjamin.
Oswin
He's a real
Benjamin, I thought.
rapper, right?
Is he a real rapper?
Yeah,
Okay.
right, he is. And then there is Archie,
Right.
her best
Oh,
friend.
I loved Archie.
How about that for a character?
That was a great character. He didn't play the typical gay friend / agent that
Right.
you think is going to go
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
You know, they had a much tougher relationship with each other then.
Yeah.
Almost sibling-like.
Yeah.
They'd known each other since high school. He'd always been a friend of hers. You know, she had been successful with him, and now they're at this crossroads of he wants her to kind of go the more commercial route, and she's trying to take this other, you know, less traveled route.
Yeah. Another, well, I'd like to say, as a face,
As a face.
with the eyes.
Yes.
He's Korean.
Yes.
He has
Yes. He
some
was very striking.
expressive eyes.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
very striking. Whenever he was on camera, you really were really
Yeah.
into him.
There was one kind of underdeveloped theme to add to ours. We've had at least three, and that's the death of her mother.
I thought that was a powerful theme. It was like the low hum of the movie
Yes.
was the loss of the mom, and
Nice.
I liked the interest in the interaction with the DJ D, because he had lost his mom, and I said, well, she's going to pop right in and talk about her mom loss, and she didn't say anything, and she waited, and I thought that was one of her parts where she kind of held back instead of pouring her soul into it. She almost still couldn't even talk about it.
Yeah. The ending, although I guess we won't disclose that to our audience. I thought it was a striking ending.
Yes, it was. I thought it was. I mean, a little expected, you know, a little expected.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to do what she did.
Oh, okay. I definitely
After her
expected
play.
that. Yeah, I definitely expected that.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. I knew there was going to be a moment like that. We had to have that kind of payoff.
It was a striking moment. I'm hoping that my granddaughter, your daughter,
Mhm.
may see this because of the city.
It's an ode to New York for sure, in that Woody Allen, Spike Lee kind of
Good,
way.
yes, good.
But also, for me, there was a melancholy about the city because we know it'll never be that way again. I mean, we're all going to be changed now from this pandemic, and definitely those people who are living there. I was thinking about how they're riding on the subway, how they're sitting in someone's apartment that
Yes,
you haven't met before,
yes.
how they're interacting with people. I'm like, oh wow, remember what that was like.
Well, Courtney DeSando, the film is 40, the film is the 40-year-old version starring Rada Blank. What grade do you award it?
A straight A for me.
All right, very good. And I'm going to award it a B+, and I think we have, therefore, a big winner here. It's available on Netflix, which is good for a lot of our audience because they can just tap into that without worrying about it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the word gets out about this. There's so much else that's now coming into the market.
The only caveat or thing I would say is if you're watching with young children, there is definitely a lot of cussing.
Yeah.
There is a lot of that. Other than that, in the wrapping part of it, I think it's a great family film.
Yes. All right.